had already happened and that was reflected in the beta, and I was like, yeah, that's fine. In the beta, it was hard to snipe. Like, you're going to do better if you use a FAMAS or some other gun. You can still do it, but you know, you're going to do better if you use like an SMG and run around, like clearly. If they gimped it even further, then it's like, I'm not even going to touch it. And
what if they did something where, I mean, this is drastic and probably wouldn't work, but work with it a little bit. What if they did something where if you sniped, make sniping super hard, but if you snipe, they don't get a kill cam. You know what I mean?
That's not good enough.
If they snipe, they don't get a kill cam.
If you use a sniper, your victims don't get to see where you're at.
Ah.
Within a week of playing the game, everyone's going to know the sniper spots on the map. So if I get shot, I'm going to know where I got shot from. I always skip the kill cam. Since COD 4, like, you know, when you die, you just spam that X and get back in the fight.
If there's a line of sight and you're standing there, you know generally that there's a person over there. Whoa.
Are you recording right now?
Yeah.
Well, I'll say it to you guys. If Quickscoping was overpowered, it would be reflected in the kill-death ratios. And
It's obviously not.
guys like Moody Swede and Small Beans are consistent, smart, good players. And I think I would put myself in the same category, although I think those guys are better than me. And their kill-death ratios are around what mine is, like 1.5. If it was overpowered, if I was running around with the God gun of Call of Duty, my fucking kill-death ratio would be 3.5, but it's not.
How did the notion of it being cheating? I don't understand the cheating thing. How did that...
I don't understand that either. Like,
That's the one thing that makes absolutely no sense. Like, when I see someone with a sniper rifle, I get excited because I know I'm going to kill him. Like, I'm just like, you are going to die because you're spinning around in circles. So it's like, I don't know.
The other thing too, though, is that Call of Duty games, for all intents and purposes, exploits are not new. And like, us as fans of the series, we generally just sort of forgive that. Because like, when you looked at World of War, it's like redundant, but the MP40 Juggernaut Steady Aim, nothing could compete with that. Nothing. Like, you could run around and hip fire like it was a BR in Halo. And there was no countering that whatsoever. And the fact that Josh Olin referred to drop shotting as cheap. I'm sure you love that.
Well, it's like, it's kind of weird. It's like, some of the things he's saying, I kind of get where he's coming from, but it's like people are going to gravitate towards what works the best. And if there is a gun that works, I'm confused as to why he thinks this sniper rifle is that gun and why it needs to be nerfed. My brain's like, what? Like, it seems like, why are you punishing them? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Of all the guns.
Of all the
guns in the Call of Duty game to nerf. Like,
it's like, we're going to give the MP40 a flamethrower, but we're going to...
I see what he's after, though. Well, I don't know if I see what he's after. But it's this whole sideshow angle where there's a huge group of people doing this kind of, like, not part of the original design activity. You know, they're like, here's the guns, here's the map, here's the objective, and there's people doing 360s off the roof. So I can see why they're, you know, it's like getting BXR patched back in the Halo days. That shit was fucking hard to pull off. I can't do it. But the pros started to pull it off, and pretty soon it became kind of this elite little thing, and they fixed it. And it's not, whether it's affecting the mass, like, results of the game, it's like not the way it's supposed to be going. So I get it. I don't think it's overpowered. I think he's off base with that, because in general, unless you're Small Beans, you're gonna get your fucking butt fucked.
But even Small Beans, like, those of us that run around with sniper rifles, and I don't even play super aggressive with the sniper. You guys have played with me. How many times do I rush spawn and go for that leak? I never do that. I'm usually mid-range. Like, the snipers are supposed to be long-range, but I can play mid-range just because I'm comfortable with it. And even that is hard. But the guys that make sniping gameplay videos, the small beans and all them, for every one game that they get that's maybe YouTube worthy, there's 20 games that will never see the light of day because we're either barely going positive, breaking even, or even going negative. And so people see nothing but really awesome sniper gameplays on YouTube and montages. And what I think is going on now is the developers are seeing those and going, whoa, 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 this is overpowered, we need to dial it back. When in reality, these guys are busting their ass. And like, for all the, I could hop on a game of Call of Duty 4 right now and get a gameplay with an assault rifle, like within the first 2 games, easily.
I don't think anyone's going to use the sniper rifle, because it's like, they're nerfing it so much, and you said, what's the deal when you look down the sight, it looks somewhere random? Is that...
I don't know if it's random, but like, you know how you have your crosshairs, right? Your hip fire crosshairs? And the whole point of quickscoping is that you can track it as it's going in, and then right as it goes in, you know relatively, even with a little bit of idle sway, where that crosshair is going to be. What they're doing now is it's going to center in like over here, or it's going to center in over here. It's going to offset your crosshair, which forces you to adjust, find your target, hold your breath, and fire. Which is like
the prediction that Black Ops is going to be heavy on assault rifles and SMGs. Shotguns, sniper rifles, they're not really going to be present too much, because it's like, it's very clear that like, it's funny though, it's like in an effort to make it fair and make the sniper rifles fair, you've made it now so the game is even more so about, you know, SMGs, assault rifles, similar to World at War. We all know we know how that went, because MP40s, you know, that whole deal, and it's like round drums. At least there's not round drums, but I think that...
Well, there's extended match, but those aren't really like, it's not like a fucking light machine gun clip. And like, we all know that submachine guns and assault rifles dominate COD, and using any, like, you can use a light machine gun, but you're giving up a drastic amount of mobility. We all know that the shotgun class in Call of Duty 4 was fucking worthless.
Bullshit.
And that even more worthless in World at War. Like, it was fun to use sometimes. Like, I fucking love the double barrel shotgun on some maps in World at War, but you'd never see top level guys using it. You'd only see them using assaults and SMGs. So if you're going to approach a game from the standpoint of balance, why don't you take a look at that too? Like, if you have 2 classes that are only used.
If you think about it, it's like the sniper rifle probably should be a little bit more, you should be able to have an incentive to use it, because it's like in my mind, it's like, I'm only going to use an SMG and an assault rifle. I'll probably just use the SMG, because with, you know, it feels like it's going to be that type of game. And it seems kind of weird that it's like, why are they targeting the gun like a sniper rifle when they should be targeting something that's just like, like, you know, just like spray and pray? Like, it seems like it's like the effort is being put towards something. I think it should be focused elsewhere. Like, I think it should be on, like, dude, with all this stuff, it's like Warlord, you're going to be like, reload. Like, I don't know, call me crazy, but...
I think the submachine guns are going to dominate this game.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I think steady aim. Like, if you're going to go for balance, like, I think steady aim is cool, but if we're talking balance here, it should probably not be in the game. Because, like, when you slap that thing on, whew.
You were trying to tell me, you were like, don't look down the sights. And I was like, dude, I can't help it.
To.
I know, I saw...
With steady aim, like, you and me both played the multiplayer event, and that's where we're coming from right now. But with steady aim, you do not need to aim down the sights at all.
It's funny when I watch you, like, you don't do that quite often. Like, there'll be a guy in front of you, and you're just like, I mean, like, it makes sense, but it's like, more often than not, it's like, I always zoom in. It's just kind of a force of habit. But it's just like, it seems like, and plus the way that they've structured the, you know, the perks and such, I think that, you know, I don't know, just, it seems like it's going to be, SMGs are going to be a big issue. You can
have steady aim and ninja on at the same time now. They no longer occupy the same class. So it's like, you can run around like a ninja.
Yeah, you got Warlord.
Just crapping on the snipers that are trying to, like, center their shot. Like, and there was never, I didn't play on we played on, like, what, 4 maps? I didn't find a single map where there was a spot where a sniper rifle can do that thing, and I can't just pull out an assault rifle and just be like, you're dead. Have fun fucking taking your time zooming in on me, because you're fucking dead.
Ultimately, why even put a sniper rifle and a shotgun in if I'm not even going to use it? Like, I'll use it for fun. Like, I'll use a tomahawk for fun. But it's like, why put it in? It's like...
I think they should put in blowguns. Dr. Jones.
That's the other thing too, is a tomahawk. Like,
Yeah.
People using the tomahawk. Were people really running around in the Cold War
Well, they have the custom.
and fucking black operations and chucking tomahawks at people? Like, were they really doing that? Like, did you have people like fucking
Crossbows with,
teleporting up to a helicopter and manning a gunship and shooting rockets at people?
And your 4-kill streak should be a medieval catapult. And you fire like a bunch of rocks or maybe a pot of boiling oil. Old.
I don't know. You just
We gotta make a game.
you just pull out a laptop and start going around on a remote control car. Like that's what you did.
Yes.
Call of Duty medieval combat.
Dude, I would play that.
I would play the hell out of that.
There were no guns.
You use swords, man.
Yeah, bro.
Then you don't even need steady aim unless you're flailing.
You kill streak, you call him like the Black Knight, and he just like kills everyone.
Here's the thing though, in the long run, I think that if they gimp it too much, from what Treyarch has showed me so far with how far they've taken the game, and I do think, take this out of the equation, I do think it's the most balanced COD game. Given that a lot of these exploits take sometimes months to surface, on the surface, on the onset here of this game, it looks like insanely balanced. I'm really happy with the perk structure and all that. And I do think that if they gimp it too much, they'll go back and address it. COD 4 had a patch 3 months into it where they fixed the ACOG scopes and the snipers because the hit detection was really spotty. So it's not like there's not room for improvement down the line, but because the developer has some sort of vendetta or preconceived notion of what he thinks quickscoping is, it's not a play style. Like, you know it, I know it. Okay, you can use it, and you should know how to use it if it's going to save your ass. But if you run around doing nothing but quickscoping, like no matter what you guys saw in an OpTic video, and I love you, Hex, I do. But no matter what you saw in an OpTic video, or no matter what you saw in a Moody Sweet video, if you're running around, rushing spawn, doing nothing but quickscoping, the other team sucks fucking nutsack, period. Because against a halfway decent team, you're not going to get away with that. Against Wood, fuck no.
Fuck no.
Wood will be sitting there waiting for you to rush spawn every time, left triggering with an ACR, just laughing his ass off as you die over and over and over again. And you should.
You like the ACR, Wood?
Love the ACR. Tag him up.
Faggot.
What's going on, guys? My name is Hutch, and I make Call of Duty videos and put them on the internet. And today I have a Black Ops video for you. Hey. And I'm playing some Team Deathmatch on Array. And I'm using the AUG assault rifle with the Warlord perk, which means I get 2 attachments. So I'm using the suppressor and the red dot. Warlord Pro, which I can't remember if I have unlocked for this match or not, gives you 1 extra primary grenade and 1 extra secondary grenade. So usually, unless you have smoke or gas, I believe, it'll give you 3 special grenades and 2 primary grenades. So either tomahawks or Semtex or a regular grenade. For my first perk, I'm using Ghost, and I believe it's the Pro variant. I'm pretty sure I have Pro for all these perks that I'm using right now. And Ghost is just like, for me, like hands down, pretty much the only option for the blue perk. I mean, you can use perks like Scavenger, and in fact, Scavenger would actually be really handy because I'm finding that, especially with the assault rifles, you run out of ammo really quick. But I would much rather pick up another gun and never have to worry about being on the enemy radar. So Ghost is just like, I don't know, for me it's just like hands down the favorite one to go to. And then on top of that, Ghost Pro makes you, it makes it so that the aircraft don't target you. So it's like Modern Warfare 2 Cold-Blooded, and your name doesn't show up in red. And then for my last perk, I can't remember if I'm using Dead Silence or Marathon. Like, I was using Dead Silence a lot for like the first 30 levels. And then like I realized that like even when the other team doesn't have, I'm calling it Dead Silence, but I mean Ninja. Even if the other team doesn't have Ninja, you really can't hear footsteps that well. So I dropped Ninja altogether and I put on Marathon because I don't know, I just don't see Ninja being as important. For certain game types, like Search and Destroy, I could see it being really important. And here I want to show you guys a different perspective on strong sighting, which is looking down, and it cuts your animation down just a little bit. It makes you a harder target. Not by much, but it's enough to make a difference. So yeah, Marathon for me like seems to be the best option for the third perk, but you know, that's all open to interpretation. I'm finding like with Black Ops, like man, you can pretty much use like any perk setup. I know that the game just came out literally, so any kind of exploits usually don't make themselves known for I don't know, sometimes a couple months. And here you see me calling the Blackbird, and I think that the Blackbird is the best kill streak in the game, to be honest with you, because even if the other team has Ghost, they can't hide from the Blackbird, so they're always going to show up on that map no matter what. And it stays up for like a good minute, and it's just like overall awesome. I think it's going to help you and your team get more kills than any other kill streak, with the exception of maybe like the gunship, but that's really hard to get. And here Justra, I don't know if that was Justra or Bash, but just saved my life because I was one away from a gunship. I think I was one away from it. Yep, I was one away from a gunship. There's a lot of things that I want to talk about when it comes to this game. I mean, it just came out, and like a lot of people are worried that it's going to suffer the same fate as Modern Warfare 2. And of course, like by now, many of you realize that there's already an unlimited care package glitch. However, if you go to the COD forums, or if you're familiar with the developers whatsoever, here is another take on theater mode right here. I like to turn around and face the wall when I call in something that requires a laptop, because if somebody runs by me, it's actually harder to spot me. I mean, it's easier to spot a dude who's just like staring at a laptop. So I like to look at the ground before I call in anything that requires pulling out that little computer. So there's another tip for you. But if you guys are, I mean, like if you guys pay any attention whatsoever to the forums, you'd see that like the developers are well aware of anything that goes on. And Treyarch is like absolutely adamant about it, supporting their product after launch. So I'm not worried about it. And then on top of that, we have the bare bones playlist. 3 different forms of it, I might add, that all include no perks, no attachments, no equipment, just you, your gun, your nade, and your secondary nade, and that's it. So whenever a glitch like the care package glitch comes around, I'll just be populating the bare bones playlist until they finally get to fix it. And here we see the gunship right here, and man, there's too much to talk about to fit into a 6-minute video, so I'm sure you guys are going to be seeing like a bunch of videos of me voicing my opinion on it. But you know, the long and short of it is that this is like, so far, and I've played a lot of this game, I can tell you right now, I've played hours and hours and hours of Black Ops, and even though I'm absolutely crushing in this gunship right now, like even that's not overpowered. It only takes 2 Stinger missiles, or the first launcher you get, you can take a gunship down with 2 rounds from the first thing you get. But what I want to say about the game is that like it is like hands down the most balanced, the least frustrating COD game online that I've played so far. So leave a comment and let me know if you agree with me or not, and then let me know your reasoning. If you think this game is total shit, explain why. If you think it's just so-so, explain why. And if you think it's awesome, let me know why. But expect some more videos, guys. I think this game is awesome, and I'm going to be playing the shit out of it, to be honest with you. Hope you enjoy the video. Peace out. My name is Hutch, and I make Call of Duty Black Ops videos, and I put them on the internet, amongst other things. And I have a sin that I'd like to confess to you guys right now. A couple games before this one, I went, I think 67-5 with 0 captures and 2 defends. So I broke my own cardinal sin. What happened was about midway through the match, I realized that we were losing by quite a bit. And it was then and only then that I tried to start focusing more on the objective. But at that time, I had 2 sets of dogs and 2 chopper gunners, so I called both of them in thinking, okay, well, if anything else, I can just maybe block off their spawn. But they had SAM turrets out both times, and my dogs only managed to get me like maybe 15 kills, something like that. And so basically what happened was I was focusing on slaying way too much, and then by the time I realized that we were down, it was too late. They had already captured enough points and secured a big enough lead to pull out the W. So for this game, I was like, you know what, fuck that. I'm going to do as well as I possibly can while capturing and defending as many flags as I possibly, as I possibly can. So as you can see right here, we decided that we were going to ignore the A flag, not because I'm not paying attention to the objective, but because the C and B flag setup in this map, or on this map, is more advantageous than the A and B, because you can trap them in A a lot easier than you can trap them in C. And as you can see right here, I'm in full-on beast mode defending this B flag. I've taken out maybe 5 or 6 guys in a very short span. And I'm using the FAMAS. I got sleight of hand with dual mags, and I got a little. That's a pretty common technique that I just did, where you jump around a corner and sort of pre-fire. You'll see it a lot in competitive play. Speaking of which, I just started scrimming with Team Envious. I'm going to be on their game battles team. I'm not going to be on their MLG team because I'm not good enough to be part of an MLG ladder or anything like that. But super stoked to be getting back into competitive play. I played COD 4 competitively quite a bit. I was on a team where we were in the top 100 out of 12,000 teams. We played only Search and Destroy, and we had played over 400 games. And when World of War came out, and when when Modern Warfare 2 came out, I tried GBs for a little bit in World of War, and I just couldn't get into it, and I never even tried it with Modern Warfare 2. This is a nice little spot up here, in case you guys didn't already know it, and I'll show you guys a nice spot later on. At this point, I decided it's pretty safe. They're trapped back on their C-spawn, so I call in my dogs and chopper gunner combo, and I rain down hurt upon them. And here's a question that I want to ask you guys. Do you think that it's selfish to run Blackbird, dogs, and chopper gunner? Or do you think that you can support your team at the same time defending objectives? Would you guys rather see gameplay of me rocking the counter UAV Blackbird? Or do you mind watching me just go to town on them with a chopper gunner? Like, I know this stuff gets kind of boring watching this, but I feel like I fucking earned this kill streak. You know? Like, I worked my little tail off to get this kill streak, so I feel good when I call in a chopper gunner, because it's a lot trickier to get a chopper gunner in Black Ops than it is in Modern Warfare 2. And, you know, speaking on the differences between Black Ops and Modern Warfare 2, I fucking love this game, man, and I'm playing better COD now than I ever have before, ever, basically. Going back all the way to COD 2, from COD 4, I mean all of them. Like, I'm playing this game just a lot better than any other COD, and I love it. That's one of the reasons why I decided that I want to participate in something like game battles. And I can't wait to start getting callouts down and all that stuff, but it became quite apparent to me tonight after we did some scrims that I have a long way to go before I stop being a pub stomper and I can officially be a competitive player. Now, shortly after this little chopper gunner dog rapage, they backed out, but I wanted to keep this going long enough for you guys to see this little spot. This spot is awesome. You can have eyes on the B flag and on the A flag summit and on the C flag summit. It's just a really, really, really awesome spot. The only downside to it is that there's not a lot of cover, so if they see you, it's really best to move positions often. The way you do that is just by jumping up on this ledge and then not failing like I did right there. I didn't take any fall damage because I have lightweight pro on. Okay, so that brings me, I'm jumping all over the place, I realize that, but that's one of the things I want to talk about now. I think that Ghost is overrated. I think it's great and it's awesome, and I rock it on a lot of my classes, but here's the thing about Black Ops that I found out, and then maybe you guys can tell me if you agree or if you disagree. But I found that in Black Ops, the secondaries aren't nearly as useful as they were in Modern Warfare 2, obviously, because you could have shotguns. But even in COD 4, I feel like the pistols in this game just aren't nearly as effective. And so what I like to run as my secondary at all times is the Strela launcher. And what I found is that frees me up to use other blue perks like lightweight or flak jacket, because if they ever have a spy plane or a counter UAV, anything like that, I have a Strela missile launcher on my back, and it's really easy for me to pull it out and then just immediately take it down, so we don't have to worry about showing up as red dots on the radar. So that's my theory on that. While Ghost is great, and I think that, you know, more often than not, you're gonna find out that Ghost is just is gonna help you out probably more than any other blue perk. But if you're anything like me and you carry a Strela launcher on your back at all times, it's not as overpowered as I think people think it is. Me and Wings actually agreed. We had a conversation about it. We agreed that if they switched Scout and Ghost, I think that would balance it out a lot better. If you had Scout as one of the middle perks instead of a blue perk, then I think it would be like just a tad more balance. But just the fact that Strela launchers are so like accessible, they're so easy to use and equip. I don't know. Personally, I found that you can use perks like Lightweight and do just as well as you would with Ghost, especially no fall damage. That shit's awesome. So I've dragged on long enough. The rest of this gameplay is pretty standard. I shuffle back and forth between that top part, and I get bored and I end up rushing into their spawn a little bit at the end. But nothing really happens that's too entertaining. My final score in the match was 40-6. I'll show the scoreboard at the end here. I had 2 captures and 5 defends, and we didn't really need to capture a whole lot, so I'm not worried about that number being any higher. And as you can see by this gameplay, I am generally a very solid team player, and I apologize for my transgression, my horrible display of hypocrisy of going 68-6 and not capturing a single flag. That's embarrassing. People asked me if I would post that, or if I was gonna post that. My immediate response was fuck to the no. Like, I don't want anyone even going through my recent games and seeing that. And that guy literally just spawned in front of me. So, anyways, I've drug on long enough, and I'm gonna piece the fuck out of here and watch Paranormal Activity and go to bed way too late. So I'll talk to you guys later. Alright guys, my name is Hutch, and I make Call of Duty Black Ops videos, and I put them on the internet, either on this channel or on the Machinima Network, is where you guys can see my content. But I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are familiar with who I am, considering that, in all likelihood, you've subscribed to the channel. And what I'm here to talk about today is what I'm going to title this video, which is the best Call of Duty yet. And I know that it's an extremely bold statement to make, especially after the game's only been out for 2 days. And the reason why that's a bold statement is because, unfortunately, Call of Duty sometimes suffers the honeymoon stage, which is where you first play it, and for the first maybe month or two, everything is great, life is wonderful, and it's a great Call of Duty game. And unfortunately, what happened with World at War and with Modern Warfare 2, both of those, in my opinion, because everybody has their opinion on these games. Unfortunately, what happened is that, exploits or certain overpowered perk combinations or weapons really started to show their character after a couple months into it, and sort of the greatness of the game seems to wear off when that happens. Now, I'm going to make a prediction straight up right now that that's not going to happen to Black Ops. I've played copious amounts of Black Ops, since even before its launch, and then up until now, I've just played a retarded amount of hours of Black Ops, and so I can't, you're not hearing an opinion of someone who's picked up the game for 5 hours and was like, this game is awesome. I've definitely played the absolute fucking living shit out of Black Ops, so I think I have sort of I don't know, like that's me qualifying for having an opinion or making a judgment call as bold as saying it's the best Call of Duty yet. So if I'm going to make that statement, let's examine some of the reasons why. And I hope you guys are paying attention to some of these nade spots. They're pretty straightforward, but on a map like Firing Range, it's really small. It's really useful to know some of these nade spots. And because they changed the arc of grenades and how far you can throw them, little stuff like that is important in the long run. Anyways, getting back to it. So taking a look at the single player is the most fun I've had with a Call of Duty campaign ever. It's fucking epic. Maybe drags on just a little bit at the end, but that's okay. The prison break sequence is, I think it's probably my favorite Call of Duty mission yet. It really kind of gets your heart going, and like, I played it on normal. I don't play Call of Duty for like achievement whoring or trying to beat it on veteran or anything like that. I play it just because I like to see how the story plays out. Not that I'm too attached to the story in the same sense that I'm attached to something like BioShock, but it's more of just like a fun experience for me. And as far as fun goes, Black Ops just like really nailed it. And I hope that you guys that are really digging multiplayer don't overlook Black Ops single player, because it's a lot of fun. It'll only take maybe 6.5 hours of your time, which is, I think, the perfect length for a Call of Duty game. Anything longer than that, and I think I would have been like, alright, I'm ready for this game to end. By the time the single player campaign ended, I was like, that was good. That was perfect timing. I was just starting to worry that it was getting a little long. Then you take a look at Nazi Zombies. Nazi Zombies is fucking crazy in this game. It's super hard. It's not as straightforward as the other ones. And they actually, you can tell that they had a lot of fun doing it, especially with, I think it's called 5. That's the second Nazi Zombies map you get when you beat the single player campaign. That one's nuts. Like, sometimes the teleporter takes you to some random spot. You don't know where it's going to go. And you have some crazy dickhead Nazi zombie scientist dude show up and steal one of your guns at one point. Yeah, I mean, I fucking just love Nazi Zombies. And then the top-down shooter, it's like, it's not great, but it's fun, and they didn't have to do that. So big props to Treyarch for doing that. By the way, I never, ever, ever get paid by a developer to say that I like their game. That's never happened once, and it never will happen. In fact, I think like bribes in that sense is actually extremely rare in gaming media. I don't think it happens nearly as much as people think it does. In fact, I've never seen it once in my little infant gaming media career so far. We don't certainly do it. People saw Machinima giving it a perfect 10 as a pretty controversial subject. They thought that Activision and us are in bed together, and that's why we decided to give it that score. But in all actuality, Rob Talbert, the man who reviewed it, is just an absolute fanatic when it comes to this game. He loved it in every sense of the way that you could love a game. And I actually totally 100% stand by his review of the game. I thought it was spot on. There was really nothing more that I could have wanted from this game. So now we can talk about multiplayer, which is, I'm sure, the biggest draw when it comes to any Call of Duty game. That's what ultimately gives a game like Call of Duty its legs. Initially, I was worried about the submachine guns with steady aim, and I thought that they would dominate it like they did in World at War, but I was wrong. And the reason I was wrong is because they absolutely nerfed the submachine gun's damage at distance. So at distance, you're not going to be able to go toe-to-toe with an assault rifle. You're just going to lose every single time. So while the submachine guns might do exceptionally well in close quarters, they really, really show their weakness when you get long range, especially if you put a silencer on it. Then it's like flicking pebbles at them at range. The assault rifles are really good, but they are outclassed by the shotguns and the submachine guns at close range. Now it's true, you can slap steady aim on an AUG, and it can do okay against a submachine gun class, but generally it's not going to do as well. So I feel like finally, after like iteration and iteration and iteration of Call of Duty, I feel like they nailed what a submachine gun should be capable of doing and what an assault rifle should be capable of doing perfectly. I think that they balanced it just like perfect. And to my knowledge, like, the 74U is a good gun. I'm not saying that's not a good gun, but it's not the God gun. It's not the M16. If you use a 74U, I'm not going to get frustrated. I'm not going to think, oh yeah, this guy's using this cheap gun. The shotguns was something else that I was completely wrong about. I thought that the shotguns were going to be useless, and I don't think they are. I think the shotguns are totally valuable, and they dominate up close. And as long as you control the engagement, as long as you dictate the terms on whether or not you want to engage in an enemy, you can do really, really well with the shotgun, particularly the Spaz. I really like the range on it. The light machine guns, even though you decrease your mobility, they don't have a whole lot of recoil to them. So you sacrifice a little bit of mobility for a high-powered gun with high recoil and a high reload time. So there, I thought that the light machine guns were just totally spot on perfect. The snipers, I'm sure you guys all know how I feel about the snipers. I feel like what they did was way overboard. I don't think that the snipers needed to be nerfed at all from the Call of Duty 4 scoping times, but those are the cards that I've been dealt. And even with that, even with the sniping in a game, like, I love sniping in Call of Duty, and even with the fact that I can't stand the sniping in this game, and I think it's retarded, I still say that this is hands down the most balanced, the most fun Call of Duty game I've ever played. And we'll see how I feel in 2 months. I'll do a check-in video, but leave a comment and let me know if you agree.
Welcome to Headshot. My name is Seananners.
And my name is Hutch.
And we're here today to talk about Black Ops, Call of Duty Black Ops. We want to talk about some of the attachments we have made.
Are you talking? That's not a language. Out. Today we're talking about Call of Duty Black Ops.
Yes, we are. We're going to talk about some attachments, some things we didn't mention in the last episode. I know we talked about dual mags, extended mags. We're here to talk about the unsung heroes of attachments on your guns.
Yes, we're talking about the new attachments.
Yes.
Attachments that you probably haven't seen in other Call of Duties.
Like flamethrowers?
Flamethrower was a perk in World at War.
Correct.
However, it was not an attachment. And in this game, it has a finite amount of ammo.
Now,
And it has about the effective range of a shotgun.
what are your thoughts?
I don't use it.
I've never used it.
I've used it for fun, but I don't generally use it.
I feel like a dragon. I'm just running around. I'm like, hey, I'm going to get you.
I could see it being really effective in hardcore, but in regular core game mode, I think you're better off using just like a standard attachment.
Now, there are a couple other weird setups, like the G11. What is the Borderlands sight thing? What is that called?
That is called the low power zoom, I believe, and it's very reminiscent of the COD 4 ACOG scope. So basically with the G11, you can either use the iron sights, which are phenomenal, by the way. Generally, all the iron sights in the game are pretty goddamn awesome. Or you can use the low power zoom, or you can use the variable scope sniper. So it only gives you a few options there. It's a really powerful gun, but it limits the amount of attachments.
I kind of like it without any attachments. I mean, the G11 is kind of ridiculous. I don't think it needs attachments.
Yeah.
It's like a super M16, but
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Like, it works sometimes, but I kind of like the SMGs. I'm kind of partially SMGs.
Right. I mean, we also have the reflex sight. That's a new one.
Correct.
So that's almost like the ACOG sight from Modern Warfare 2, almost, but a little bit less cumbersome. So we actually just talked to a couple dudes from Treyarch today,
That we did.
and we asked them about the reflex scope and whether or not it aims down sights quicker, and he said that was bullshit. He said that was...
They're mysterious. Like, we ask them a question, and then they ask us a question. And like, what do you think about ice cream? And I'm like, that has nothing to do with Call of Duty.
And he'll be like, does it?
And I'll be like, oh my god.
It does. Anyways, keeping on track.
Yes.
I mean, we can also add some wacky attachment to pistols, like the ACOG scope on a Magnum.
That's fun. That's
Which is
kind of
amazing, by the way.
Yeah.
If you take that in hardcore mode and run around trying to snipe with it, do quick scopes with a Magnum.
I've heard rumors that it's more consistent and accurate than the sniper rifle itself. Now, I know that's going to piss some people off, but that's the word on the street. That's what I've heard, and I don't know. You guys let me know. And
Hey, speaking of snipers, though, the variable zoom on the snipers, I fucking love it.
Really?
I love it. I love it. I love it.
even with B being the zoom?
Yeah, it's actually really intuitive. If you keep your finger on the left trigger, switching your thumb over to B, even to double tap it or triple tap it, isn't that bad at all. And that scope gives that gun so much more versatility.
Well, I don't know about you, but my favorite attachment is the noob tube. I love it. It's amazing. It's fair. It's balanced. It shows like skill and dexterity. I mean, it's the best attachment in the game.
You goddamn son of a bitch.
All right, guys. Hutch is gonna punch me in the face. We'll see you later.
Kiss you right in the mouth.
No, you're gonna punch me.
Alright guys, this is it. This is the last episode of Progression, a comprehensive history of online multiplayer in the Call of Duty series for consoles. Enjoy. Well, here we are. As of November 9th, 2010, Call of Duty Black Ops has been released, and we're in the full swing of things. There's usually a honeymoon stage when it comes to a new Call of Duty, where for a lot of us it can do no wrong. I'd comfortably say that we're edging past that and venturing into the stage where we can truly judge it for what it is. We've already taken a look at the direction the series has taken, and how it got to where it is today. and today we'll be evaluating how this game is holding up under the scrutiny of millions and millions of players across several platforms. When rumors of Activision licensing Vietnam-era songs for its next Call of Duty game sprung up around a year ago, it was met with a lot of reluctance and groaning. Although World at War was massively successful, the idea of not keeping with a Modern Warfare setting was not the best news for a large segment of COD players. However, there were still a lot of players who had the right idea of waiting to see the game before judging it quite yet. Earlier this year, we learned that those rumors were correct. Ish. True, Black Ops was taking place in Vietnam, but after the full reveal, we learned that it was also taking place in Cuba, Russia, and Laos, amongst other locales. On top of that, the game was taking place over decades instead of weeks or months. It was a bold, ambitious move on Treyarch's part. No longer were they limited by the weaponry of one particular setting or time period. They had the freedom to incorporate weapons and gadgets from all over the Cold War history. This was a breath of fresh air, and most people concerned with the time setting before breathed a sigh of relief. So let's get to it. How's the game? The biggest change, hands down, to how the game plays in multiplayer is the noticeable absence of any perk or effect on the damage your gun deals. No stopping power, no juggernaut, no painkiller. What does this mean? It means that generally, it takes longer to kill in this game. In comparison to Modern Warfare 2, it takes a lot longer to kill someone. This, coupled with the fact that guns have noticeable recoil once again, brings the game back to a place that wasn't so inviting to your average player. A player with enough know-how to burst fire his weapon will do considerably better than someone more used to never letting off with a gun like the ACR. We'll get to the guns, perks, and kill streaks in a moment. For now, let's move right along to the other biggest change in the series, currency. Black Ops decided to completely overhaul the current leveling up feature with the introduction of COD points. COD points are accumulated along with normal XP, usually at a ratio of around 1 to 10. For every 10,000 XP you might get in a match, you usually get around 1,000 COD points. These points can be used to purchase just about everything in the game. Guns, attachments, camo, kill streaks, and even your clan tag. This was a fucking brilliant idea on Treyarch's part, mainly for a reason often overlooked. Instead of having to grind through challenges to gain attachments for your gun, you just bought them. What incentive do boosters have in a game like this, especially when the tactical nuke was rightfully put to bed? Speaking of which, kill streaks do not stack in Black Ops. A napalm strike will not contribute to a chopper gunner or dogs. You have to earn each kill with your melee, gun, nade, or equipment. How does this affect gameplay? Well, first of all, there are considerably less kill streaks active at any given point in a game. This places the emphasis back on gun versus gun, something I've personally wanted since COD 4. On top of this, it's a lot harder to get higher kill streaks in this game, and lesser players are figuring that out more and more every day. You are seeing 10 times more UAVs in this game than you did in Modern Warfare 2. Unfortunately, you're also seeing a lot more RC cars. The game isn't without its problems at the moment, which is always the case when a game first ships. While it's still a subject of debate, it seems clear in my mind that the AK-74U, a submachine gun, is slightly overpowered. Either that or the other submachine guns need a buff. There are a few factors involved in this judgment, but the easiest way to go by is how it feels. If a gun feels easier to use than the rest, and you see it more than any other gun in the game, it probably has a balance issue that needs tending to. That said, I don't believe it's anywhere near as much of an issue as the MP40 was in World at War. The melee feature in this game has been the subject of controversy as of late, and I myself have had some questionable experiences on the receiving end of it. As far as the solution goes, the main two I hear is to have the melee as a secondary that you have to equip before using, or to have the lunge reduced drastically. All in all, I don't feel that this is a game-breaking feature. Frustrating sometimes, yeah. But does it ruin the experience altogether? No. On the topic of performance, I've been told by several of you guys out there in internet land that the PC and PS3 versions of the game are still suffering and need support. However, I don't have any experience with either platform, so I can't really comment too much here. I can say that from what I've read, Treyarch's paying attention, and that's about all I know on that front. Big elephant in the middle of the room, I love to snipe in Call of Duty games. A couple weeks before the game launched, it was announced that Treyarch had effectively nerfed quickscoping with snipers for the full retail game, a feature that wasn't included in the private beta. I was more or less okay with hearing this at first, given that I'm personally seeing an ever-increasing population of players charging spawn with a sniper and focusing on clips for their next montage, as opposed to actually helping their team out a bit. Maybe this would curb that a little bit, and allow only the stronger, smarter players to use the sniper successfully. When I actually saw what mechanic they introduced for the snipers, my fragile little heart sank, just a bit. On top of the noticeably higher sway on snipers in this game, now when someone scopes in, their crosshairs are offset for a moment, forcing them to allow it to reset before it levels out. On top of this, if you shoot before the crosshair resets, your bullet shoots at max spread. This means it's the same as though you were firing from the hip while moving. While the intent of the mechanic makes sense from a design standpoint, and in reality has drastically dropped the number of mini grizzes that constantly ruin domination matches, for me, it ultimately takes too much away from the sniper class. Snipers already had a pretty substantial disadvantage to assaults or subs that with sleight of hand pro can aim down sights in a fraction of a second. But with this mechanic they're rendered useless. There's almost nothing that you can do on any map, in any game type, that you can't do better with a FAMAS. That to me is an issue. However, anyone who pays even a loose amount of attention to the COD forums and tweets know that they've stated and demonstrated that they are firmly committed to continuous tuning and prioritizing balance before all else. What this means is that even though I firmly disagree with how much the snipers have been nerfed, I have and maintain a great deal of respect for how much they incorporated community feedback into this game, and how much they're continuing to do so post-launch. In short, there's no need to get riled up. The best way anyone can have an effect on the game they love is to present the issue in a civil way. If we don't, I can promise that whatever dev is reading your post on the forum will immediately tune out and disregard anything you have to say. It's really up to you guys. Being heard or ignored is entirely based upon how you present your concern or issue. Call of Duty, being the biggest FPS series in the world at the moment, will always be the subject of controversy. No matter what decisions are made, not everyone will be pleased. That said, all I can go on is my opinion. And my opinion so far is that after nearly a month of playing, Black Ops is passing with flying colors. Perfect? No. Totally and irrefutably balanced? Not quite. A well-needed step in the right direction with a bigger emphasis on post-launch support? Absolutely. This game to me just feels better. I feel like I have, for the most part, control over what's happening, and 9 out of 10 times when I die, it's my fault. It's glaringly obvious that Treyarch set out to address as many players' concerns with the previous installments as possible. And of course, you can never succeed 100% in that situation. But it shows. I quite like Call of Duty Black Ops. So, what do you think?
You lost Bravo.
What's going on, guys? My name is Hutch, and I make Call of Duty videos and I put them on the internet. And I've been doing a lot more of that recently since Black Ops came out. I wasn't doing that for a little while, and then this game came out, and I really dig this game. So here I am doing my thing, and it's a game of domination on radiation. I'm using the Spectre with Marathon Pro, Lightweight Pro, and Sleight of Hand Pro. And truth be told, right before I recorded this commentary, I recorded another take of it where I was talking a lot about how I think some of the other blue perks are extremely valuable. And I think a lot of people overlook that, and because of that, I don't think Ghost is overpowered really in the slightest, especially if you run Estrella as a secondary, as I do at all times. You can just shoot down the spy plane immediately. And you'll see a lot, I mean, I have a lot of gameplays banked in this game, so I'm hoping to have the energy to, give you guys regular content when it comes to this game. And you'll see it in a lot of my games. I shoot down spy planes. In almost every game that I play, I shoot down at least 1 or 2 spy planes. And it's cool. I mean, you end up frustrating the other team, and you get to use another blue perk besides Ghost. So that's good. Anyways, I recorded the commentary right before this talking a lot about the gameplay, but then I decided, you know what, I don't really feel like talking about the gameplay too much today. I want to talk about what's going on with me these days. And I'll try to give you guys a healthy balance, because I know a lot of you guys like to see commentary about what's going on in the gameplay. But do me a favor and just leave some feedback right now for me. Do you guys prefer sort of off-the-cuff random commentary, or do you prefer me talking about the gameplay and helping you guys get a little bit better at the game? Or do you guys prefer like a healthy mixture of the two? And that's not me comment whoring. I don't really particularly care if people, if my video doesn't get in like the top 10 highest rated in gaming and things like that. I'm really content with the pace of my channel and the crowd that is accumulated over time. But this is the one time that I'm going to ask you guys to leave a little bit of feedback for me, and I'll go through and I'll read some of the comments. And I'm sure I'll be sifting through a lot of comments that are still hating on me for giving Trickshot guys a little bit of shit in my last 2 videos, and whatever. It just comes with the territory. I don't know how I got the reputation of being a trick shot guy, because a lot of people were like, well, it's your fucking fault that the trick shot thing started in the first place, and if you hadn't make videos back in the day. And I'd respond by saying, I don't remember doing any 360s in any of my videos, and people would be like, yeah, you did. You just deleted them because you had a bunch on there, but then you deleted them. And I'm like, well, no, but whatever. That's neither here nor there. But anyways, I'll sift through the comments. I'll let you know. Wow, this random commentary turned into not much of a commentary at all, actually. You know what? I lost track of the timeline. 1 second. Commentary re-engage. I totally lost track of the timeline. I deleted some portion of it. I didn't even realize it. Anyways, so what's going on with me these days? So I've had to have like a shit ton of dental work done lately. And I don't know about you guys, but I hate the dentist. Not literally the dentist, because she's actually this really nice Korean woman who's pretty awesome. So, Dr. Lim from Santa Monica, California, you're gonna get a shout out from me, because you guys have rocked the living shit out of my teeth in a good way. If you can rock something in a good way, you did it, and I'm thankful. I went in there because what happened was we went to Germany in August, I think, and the night before we came back from Germany, I'm gonna speed up this next chopper gunner sequence. The night before we came back from Germany, I woke up in the middle of the night. It was like 3 in the morning, and we had to get on an airplane at 8 in the morning the next day in a town that was like a 45-minute train ride away, so we had to wake up at, I don't even fucking know, it was like 6:45, and I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and my tooth was throbbing. It was just absolutely throbbing. It was my upper left, second from the last back tooth. So I went down, I put some ice on it, because it was all I could do. I didn't have time to see a dentist there. We had to take off in the morning. And, cat, if you don't get your claw out of my sock right now, I'm going to punch you. Stop it! Jesus Christ, Jack. My fucking cat sometimes, I swear. So I woke up in the middle of the night, and I just kind of had to tough it out. I had to get on a plane, actually 2 planes, and ride on an airplane or series of airplanes for 12 hours with my tooth just... I was in so much pain, it was miserable. It was absolutely miserable. And so I got back and I went to the dentist, and sure enough, I had a substantial amount of tooth decay. Because for about 6 years I didn't have dental insurance, and so I didn't go to the dentist unless something really hurt. And then I would go in and they would put like a temporary fix on it that I was supposed to follow up on, and I never did. So I go in and they drill into my tooth, and they do a partial root canal without actually doing the root canal. And then they take x-rays, and they tell me everything that's wrong with my mouth over the 6 years that had accumulated with me not taking care of my teeth. Hardly whatsoever. I mean, I brush my teeth regularly. I'm really hygienic. I take showers every day, and I'm actually I like to wash my hands constantly. And I do brush my teeth a lot. I don't floss the best, but I don't know, do you guys floss regularly? I don't really know too many people that do, which is probably a bad thing, but whatever. So it turns out that I needed two root canals and 3 crowns, and that was about 2 months ago that they gave me that prognosis. And then about a month ago, one of my other teeth started throbbing, so I go in, and then it turns out that tooth is cracked all the way down to the root. So now that tooth might have needed a root canal, but they did a partial procedure on it. It turns out it doesn't need a root canal, it just needs a crown. So now it's 2 root canals, 4 crowns. Plus I have 5 cavity fillings that are sort of degraded, and so those need to be replaced. And then I have another cavity in one of my lower right teeth. And man, I really wish that I would have been in a position where I was able to take care of my teeth better than I was, because when I was working at restaurants and things like that, we didn't have dental insurance, and so it was like, okay, well, I can either go spend $200 at the dentist, or I can buy food for this next week. And when you're poor, that's really an easy call. And I'm feeling good, man. My life is really goddamn good these days. Fortunately, now I have an employer that gives a shit about the health and well-being of its employees, and we have benefits, so now I'm able to go in and take care of all this stuff. But hey, do you guys hate dentists as much as I do, or is your dentist story worse than mine? If you have a dentist story that's worse than mine, I'd love to hear that shit, because Mine's been fucking awful. Root canals, they're not painful, but they're just long and tedious, and I hate them. I hate them so much. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the commentary. I'll talk to you later. What's going on, guys? My name is Hutch, and I make Call of Duty videos, and I put them on the internet. And I have opinions on things, and I like to talk about my opinions on things. And here's the thing: if I say something, or if I share my opinion on something, I don't expect all of you to agree with me. I don't think that I have a sense of entitlement that you need to listen to what I say and do what I do. But I do have opinions on things, and I like to share them. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I think a lot of the times I sort of get unfairly scrutinized because my channel's really big. Like, I posted a montage on Friday or Saturday or something like that. A lot of people were saying, well, there's a lot of hard scoping in this, so it's pretty average. Pretty average. If I would have posted this on my channel, I would have gotten flamed for it. And I guess my response to that is just, I don't care. Like, I love posting stuff that I put work into on my channel, or things that I think are cool, and I really liked that montage. And on top of that, I don't think that the clips in that montage are average. Like, if those are average, what are you guys doing that I'm not? Like, when I play Call of Duty, I don't play for montage clips. There are people that I used to. I should say that I used to be more montage-ish. I used to be a lot more cavalier, and I tried to be really flashy because I was definitely looking for that good like, you know, quickscope streak or something like that. But those were kind of like few and far between. I didn't make it my entire goal when I played a match. Like, okay, I'm gonna collect clips now, because that leads to bad play. Like, you're not going to be playing the game as well as you could be playing if you're focusing on getting clips. And there's a lot of tricks to getting good clips in montages. And people that are experienced with it will agree with me that the reason why domination is so popular when it comes to sniper montages is because the spawns are very predictable and they're easily manipulated. And so if you can predict where the enemies are going to spawn, then you have more of a likelihood of getting on a nice streak because you know where they're going to be coming from. On top of that, there's a lot of choke points in certain maps, like certainly Skid Row saw its fair share of triples and things like that. So a lot of people will say, you know, okay, well, I need a triple for my montage, so okay, we're on Skid Row, I'm going to camp the hallway until I get a nice opportunity for a multi-kill, or if not a triple, then maybe like a quad feed or a quinta feed. I don't know what you would call a 5 feed, so I'll say a quinta feed. And that's sort of how a lot of the COD players approach the game. And the argument that I hear a lot about that is that somebody paid $60 for the game, so they should be able to play it however they want to. And I sort of agree with that to an extent. Trick-shotting and doing spins, 360s and 720s and stuff like that, it always bugged me, but it never bugged me enough to like get pissed off about it. I would just kind of like laugh in a lobby, like, you know, if I saw somebody spinning on the other team, you bet your ass I was pulling out like a light machine gun with a Juggernaut class or an M16 class, and I would make it my life's mission to not only shut them down from capping any flags, but to make sure that they don't even get anything that even resembles a clip for a montage, because I don't like that. I feel like when that happens too much, that it really takes away from the experience of playing online. And if you guys didn't already notice, I'm a tryhard at Call of Duty. I love trying hard, and that's how I have fun with the game. And you know, and a lot of people have fun with the game by doing trick shots, by doing 360s and spins and things like that. And okay, I get that. I get that argument, and that makes sense to me. And if you would have said that to me back in COD 4, I would have said, okay, done deal. Like, I get it. It's gonna bug me, but you know, so does camping. So, you know, we'll call it square. Now, what's going on is that I'm seriously irritated because the snipers got nerfed as a direct result of people being way too cavalier with sniper rifles in YouTube montages, and you know, sometimes gameplays. But guys like Moody Swede, you know, there are very few snipers that post full gameplays. Did you guys notice this? Of all montage makers, like how many hardcore montage guys post a lot of gameplays of their actual in-game footage? You got I mean, Grizz is doing it now, and he posts some really awesome videos. I really like his commentaries. And like Bobby was doing it back in the day, but he was like beasting it up in free-for-alls and like going 45 and 10 with a sniper, using nothing but, you know, UAV, counter UAV, and giving away his care package or something like that. But yeah, the reason why you don't see it is because aggressive sniping and being way too aggressive with a sniper. I mean, there's nothing wrong with aggressive sniping. I like being aggressive with a sniper, but being way too aggressive with a sniper in an attempt to get a montage clip is not good. That's not good Call of Duty. No matter what anyone says, it's not going to be nearly as effective as playing maybe just a little bit more conservative with a sniper rifle. And okay, like, who am I to say what's good and what's bad? Like, I get that argument too. I mean, I'm not the be-all, the say-all, end-all of Call of Duty, but I do know that the snipers got nerfed because of this, and that's what bugs me. Like, that's what bugs me on a gut level, is because I love to snipe, and I'm not going to do it in this game very often because it's unusable at the moment. They've said that they were going to slowly tune the snipers to just sort of slowly kick back the nerf. They're not going to get rid of the nerf altogether. There's always going to be some nerf element to what the snipers are in Black Ops, because they don't want to see it in the game. But they're going to start dialing it back, and we'll see how far they dial it back. If they dial it back enough, then yeah, I'll pick up a sniper rifle and I'll see if I can do some work with it. And like, for example, in this game, my kill death ratio with the spaz is like 3.3. My kill death overall is like 2.11 at the moment on one account, and like 2.18 on another account. My kill death with the 74U, interestingly, is like 1.7. So as far as this gun being overpowered, no, I don't think so. I think the other submachine guns need a buff, if anything, but I don't think that the 74U has a massive advantage over a gun like the FAMAS when it comes to mid-range or long-range. That's what I like about the submachine guns in this game, is that they got it right. Like, they got it right for the 74U, because they made them so that they're very effective up close, not that effective at long range, which is not the case for Modern Warfare 2. The UMP could drop somebody in 2 or 3 shots from very, very far, and that's ultimately what made that gun just a little bit more powerful than it should have been, in my opinion. So trick shots, like playing the game for fun, if that's how you have fun, okay, that's fine, but like, we all have to realize that because of this, we're all affected by the sniping nerf, and maybe we could dial it back just a little bit. You can still go for montage clips, you can still be aggressive, you can still mine spawns and things like that, but maybe just, I don't know, maybe just stop spinning. Or just maybe we could all just kind of collectively say, okay, we've done enough spinning, we're all dizzy, it's really starting to give me like vertigo. I don't even know what vertigo is, but I imagine spinning has something to do with it. Maybe we could just dial it back just a little, and then maybe Treyarch will consider substantially unnerfing the sniper. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not trying to piss anybody off, guys. Like, I know that a lot of you guys really like trick shot montages, and that's your thing, and like getting clips from montage gives you like an adrenaline rush, and then it's fun, and I get that, I really do. It feels good to hit a clip where you're like, yes, that's going in a montage. It just makes you smile a little bit. But it got so massively out of hand that like Call of Duty 4 is a fucking ghost town, and the only thing that's left is snipers and domination doing this stuff. I mean, that's ultimately why. If you went in COD 4 or in World at War or in Modern Warfare 2 domination, chances are you would run into a trick shot guy who is more often than not on your team and fucking it up for everybody else. And I don't like that. I really don't like that. And I'm really upset that they nerfed sniping, and I wish that they didn't. And again, we'll see what they do to sort of dial that back. So I'll reserve judgment on that end. But I don't know, guys. I'm opinionated, but I'm not. I respect your opinion too, and I don't expect you to agree with everything that I say. So with that, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm out of here. Hey guys, my name's Hutch, and I make Call of Duty videos, and I put them on the internet. And today, I have a flawless game of free-for-all on Hanoi. that was my new voice. Did you guys like it? That was my first time trying it. I think I probably won't use it again, but and I'm using the Python as a secondary, and I probably use it a lot because that's what a fucking sidearm is for. Last time I checked. What? You got something to say about that? I'm kidding, totally kidding. But a lot of people gave me grief because they want to see more sniping gameplay, and a lot of people say that they wish that I didn't use my sidearm so much. And I kind of scratch my head when I see stuff like that because I'm like, wait a second, I thought that's what it's there for. I could be mistaken. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure they put them in the game so that you would use it when the time was appropriate. And if I'm close range with someone, I'm going to use my sidearm because in this game you can't quickscope. Even after the patch, you can't really quickscope. You can within like maybe 10 feet. Like maybe 10 feet. You might want to go for like one quickscope. And then after that, it's a way better idea to pull out your sidearm and see if you can pick a couple people off that way. And that kind of ties into what I want to talk about today, which is the fact that if I state an opinion on something, I don't expect everybody to agree with me, and I'm not trying to not trying to change anybody's mind. It's just unavoidable that with like a channel that's pretty big like mine, if I say something, a lot of people are going to latch on to that, and then flame wars erupt all over the place. Like Small Bean's friend yesterday posted a little mini-tage called Grizz with Jizz, and basically in every single one of his clips except for maybe one he was losing, and like running past B flags and things like that, and a lot of people trolled him in the comments. No, I don't think that's right. Even though I don't particularly care for montages like that, I'm not going to show up in the comments and be like, yo bro, you really got to jump on that B flag. Come on, let's step up your game a little bit. No, what I choose to do in that situation is what I would encourage everybody in here to do in that situation, which is don't watch the video. Or if you find out 15, 30 seconds into it that it's that sort of montage, and you're like me and that's just doesn't really float your boat, then simply click away. You don't have to like dislike the video. You don't have to leave a nasty comment, because no matter what, like, people do YouTube Call of Duty stuff for fun, and that's how this guy has fun, and if that's how he's having fun, then that's fine. That's what he does. Just because he doesn't think like me doesn't mean I have to hate him or have a spiteful feelings towards him or whatever. I'm totally transparent with you guys. Like, I talk about, if I have an opinion on something, chances are you guys will hear about it, because I don't know, that's sort of just how I've always done things around here. If there was something to talk about, then I would talk about it, and I would be super honest. Even if I thought that it might offend people, that's okay. It's okay to offend people as long as you're telling the truth and it's not mean-spirited. It's totally fine to say how you feel about everything. And like, just for transparency's sake, let me just clarify one more time. Like, I don't like a lot of montages these days. I'm not saying that like, oh, mine are 10 times better. It's not about that. Like, I don't make a montage to compete with people. I do it because it's fun. And that's the same reason why a trick shotter makes a montage, because it's fun. That's how they have fun with the game. Where I'm coming from is I fucking can't stand the fact that a lot of montages completely forsake good Call of Duty gameplay for the sake of that big shot, that beast shot, the ladder stall, or the no scope across the map. Like, a montage should ideally show good Call of Duty. That's the whole point of a montage. If you were showing bad Call of Duty, that wouldn't be a montage, that would be a fail-tage, or at least a bad montage. So I'm not sure what the point of showing bad Call of Duty is, and if you're completely ignoring how you're supposed to be playing the game, or maybe not how you're supposed to be playing the game, but the objective of whatever game type it is that you're playing, then what business does that have in a montage? That's what I don't understand. And it's the same kind of logic. Those are the same kind of people that criticize me for using my pistol too much, even though quickscoping is completely unproductive in this game and it's not really going to get you anywhere. Like, and on top of that, sniping wasn't nerfed in the beta. In the beta, about 50 trick shot guys jumped in there and tried to capture elite footage for their montage, so they could be the first Black Ops montage and get a gajillion views. And then 2 weeks later, the sniping got nerfed. So how do you think it got nerfed? Even with me saying all that, I don't think that everybody has to think like I do. And if you don't think like I do, that's fine. Like, All you gotta do is not watch this video, for example. Or maybe not leave flame on anybody's channel. There's no point. There's no point. Just make a video and have fun with it, and that's that. So, I'll talk to you guys later. Happy holidays. What's going down, everybody? My name is Hutch, and I post Call of Duty videos on the internet. I said that wrong. That's like my own catchphrase when I said it wrong. I play Call of Duty, and I put... What the fuck is my phrase? My name is Hutch. I make Call of Duty videos, and I put them on the internet. There we go. And today, playing a little free-for-all on Crisis with the L96 sniper, which is not a good idea. It's just not a good idea to snipe in a free-for-all in this game. You can get away with it in like COD 4, but even then it wasn't even a good idea. In Modern Warfare 2, a little more so, and in this game, just I got lucky. I don't even win in free-for-all with a sniper, let alone get a good score. So, anyways, the gameplay speaks for itself. This was the night of the patch, and so I was eager to get in there and see if I could actually do anything with the sniper, and I came up with this game. Anyways, so I decided to put a little question and answer session out on Twitter. And if you guys have no idea that Twitter exists, I'll put a link to my Twitter in the description of the video. It's also in the toolbar. I kind of revamped the toolbar to make it a little bit more relevant because I wasn't really using it a whole lot, and now I'm a lot happier with it. It's just a good way for you guys to keep up with everything. It's got a playlist for all the Black Ops commentaries I've done and will do. It's got a playlist for the progression series I did, which is the history of Call of Duty. It's got a link to my Twitter and Facebook page. Anyway, so I put it out there on Twitter. You know, if you guys have any questions about Call of Duty or me or life, things like that, ask me a question and I'll answer it. And so I'm gonna try and skim through these and pick out the best ones. So, Mr. Pie777 asked, when you first started out in all this commentary YouTube, did you ever think you'd be in the position you are now? No. Back then, everybody just did it for fun. There was no money involved. Not that money is a bad thing, but it was purely recreation. I really, really enjoyed it, and I still do enjoy it. The first commentary I ever did was, it was over a Sniper Tips for Beginners series that I did for World of War, and I thought to myself, hey, can't I just plug up a mic and do voiceover? And so I tried doing that, and around the same time, either a little bit before or a little bit after, Blame Truth started doing commentaries over his entire games, like a full-on, team deathmatch. And I wasn't really aware of him at the time, and he wasn't really aware of me at the time, as far as I know. It's just funny that we both started doing it around the same time, and then I saw him doing that over gameplays, and people started asking me to do it, and I was like, okay, but I never thought that it would actually get me a job. I knew that I wanted to work in gaming media somehow. I dreamed one day of working at a place like 1UP in San Francisco, and then this happened. So, okay, Nadtor, N-A-D-T-O-R asks, I don't mean to be rude with you. Is your pay good or just enough to live on? I want to be a games journalist. Well, technically I'm not a games journalist, but and I truthfully have no idea how my salary stacks up to other people in the gaming media, but I have a good salary. I'm not gonna say the number, but I'm not rich, but I live pretty comfortably. Like I don't live paycheck to paycheck anymore, which is nice. But yeah, I think it pays well. It pays better than any other job I've ever had. Jamesum5 asked, would you say your move to Machinima has changed the way you deal with people in the community? I'd say yeah. When I got the job at Machinima, all of a sudden I think a lot of people were treating me like the Robert Bowling of Machinima. So whenever there was any kind of questionable video that was posted, I would get spammed with messages, and if nothing was done about it, then I would kind of bear the brunt of the situation and feel the blame. So for a while there, I was getting a little bit kind of hostile. Like I didn't really know how to deal with it, and I wasn't really liking all the attention. But I feel like lately I've kind of found my groove again, and pretty happy about that. So let's just keep on going. Yeah. Da-dun, da-da-da-dun. Game battles should be hosted by, this is from Chad Calhoun. Game battles should be hosted by a third party acting as a pseudo-dedicated server. Your thoughts on that? I agree. I think that game battles, especially for a game like Call of Duty, is pretty flawed if it's not on a LAN because it's such a connection-based game. So the difference between a 3-bar and a 4-bar, especially in a game like Call of Duty Black Ops, is more often than not the difference between winning and losing. And oftentimes you'll have an entire team with 4 bars and the opposing team has 3, and that's just I don't know. That's a huge advantage. So Dong for Dung asks, what is my biggest fear? My biggest fear, hands down, is landing in an airplane. I hate it. I hate it so much. If I can avoid taking planes the rest of my life, I will, but I'm going to have to. So Scott Pilgrim 910 asks, what is the most foolish thing you have ever said? Humorous. Okay. Immediately something comes to mind is I was seeing this girl from, we worked together way back in the day. This is like 4 years ago. And not to get a little graphic on you, but we were in the shower. We weren't even fooling around. We were just taking a shower. And I leaned in and I jokingly said, I think I'm temporarily in love with you. And it was totally a joke, but oh my god, it did not go over well. Guys, I know that joke sounds hilarious in your head. I know it sounded hilarious in my head, but probably want to hold off on saying that to a girl. God. What a retard I was. If you had the chance to bring any sniper from another game and have it do the same damage and accuracy, what would it be? I get some kind of form of this question a lot, and it's basically, like, what's your favorite sniper? And I don't care. Whatever sniper drops somebody in one bullet from the stomach or higher is fine by me. So, fuck the M40, fuck the intervention, fuck the Barrett. I mean, like, at the time it's great, but right now I like the PSG-1 and the L96, so I really don't care. Sir Firebird asks, what are your tips on getting semi-noticed on YouTube, and how do you deal with haters? So, as far as, like, I don't know if I can answer that question honestly right now, because the way that I went about it was a lot different because there was a lot less people then. I would say if you put quality time into what you're doing, if you don't sound like you're trying to please everybody with a video, then and if you're just having fun, then that's a really good start. And there's nothing wrong with networking. Like, box for box isn't a bad thing. Like, I have people in my box, but it's people whose content I enjoy and are friends of mine. So I think networking is totally important, but it can't be superficial and shallow. Otherwise, people see right through that, I think. And how do you deal with haters? Don't ask me that question because I'm still figuring that out. Michael Savage, M-I-K-K-U-L Savage, asks, when did you realize you had a knack for gaming, or sniping in particular? When I had GoldenEye, okay, so first of all, I played copious amounts of video games when I was a kid, but when I had GoldenEye, I remember going through the level Aztec on the hardest difficulty, and recording the entire thing on VHS, and I was super obsessive about it, and I think that was the time that I realized that I was really into gaming. Mr. Ace83 asks, what's the most successful perk to use in Demolition on Nuketown? I would say Flak Jacket. So, I think that's going to wrap it up unless I can find one more question here. Come on. Come on. Okay, Winster99 asks, how do you know what you're going to talk about in the video? Do you have anything written down? Because I need some video tips. I've only written something down for a video one time, and it was because I thought it was a pretty important video and I didn't want to slack off on it. And oftentimes, like, especially lately, I've had to restart my commentary a couple times because I try to have like a little bit more energy, because people kind of don't like it when I'm lethargic and I give sort of like blah commentaries. So I don't know, I would just say relax and pretend like you're having a conversation with a friend. That's usually what I do. Anyways, if you guys want me to do more Q&As like this, let me know. Hope you're having a good holiday break, And I'll talk to you guys later. What's going on, dudes? My name is Hutch, and I make Call of Duty videos, and I put them on the internet. And lately, I've been trying to do it a little bit more regularly. For a while there wasn't really a game like, I guess Halo. You know, Halo was a lot of fun for me. And I won't say that I'm completely done with Halo, but for now, I'm definitely focused on the Calls of Duty for the moment. But yeah, I generally make Call of Duty videos and I put them on the internet. And just to talk a little bit about the gameplay, right off the break here, I'm using the L96 sniper with the extended mags. And because I'm using extended mags, I decided to go with something like Scout. If I was using the variable scope, I might be more inclined to use a perk like Sleight of Hand. Because with only 5 bullets in your clip, you can get yourself into a pretty sticky situation if you got that normal slow reload. And with the extended mags, you don't really need to worry about that so much because you have 10 bullets instead of 5. I've tried the infrared scope. A lot of people have been suggesting that I check out the infrared, but I was not good with the thermal scope in Modern Warfare 2, and I'm just not good with the thermal or with the infrared in Black Ops. There's just something about it where it feels like none of my it feels like my shots are on the guy and it never ever hits him. And so I ended up, I mean, I'll try it occasionally just if I'm feeling up for it, or if the other team sucks enough for me to feel comfortable doing something like that. But for the most part, the hit detection with that scope in particular seems to be pretty spotty. Now, on the subject of hit detection, this is one night after the patch came out. So I got this tonight. The patch dropped maybe like 36 hours ago or something like that. And what they did a couple things with the patch when it came. Well, they did a lot of things in general, but as far as the patch goes, okay, right here, before I get on that topic real quick, the reason why I fail right now is because I play on 3 sensitivity normally, but when I play with a sniper, I play with 5 or 6. And so whenever I pick up a regular gun as a secondary, it always ends up biting me in the ass because I'm not used to the sensitivity. It's double what I'm used to normally. When it came to Modern Warfare 2 or COD 4 or World of War, I used to play on 7 or 8 exclusively because most of the time I like to snipe. And even if I wasn't sniping with a gun like the ACR or the TAR, it's really twitchy, so you can get away with having a high sensitivity because you don't need to be insanely accurate. And in this game, there's a much bigger emphasis on accuracy given the fact that people have more health. So I drop it down to 3 because I'm a tryhard like that. Anyways, getting back to talking about the patch. So what they did with the patch is that they tweaked spawns a little bit. They added negative influencers to affect spawns, so you're less likely to spawn in front of an opponent or in a napalm strike or something like that. And truth be told, I haven't really been able to notice too much of a difference just yet, but I've never had too much of a problem with the snipers in this game, or with the spawns in this game in general. I did have one experience a couple nights ago where I was playing CTF and I literally spawned right in front of a guy and he shot me right as I spawned. I was capturing too. If I wanted to, I could make like a complaining video and call it, you know, Call of Duty has the best spawns ever and show you guys what I'm talking about. But my experience with this game is that that's been super rare. That doesn't really happen that often. So that's one thing they did. Another thing that they did was they added about a 1.5 second delay when you show up as a diamond if someone's in a chopper gunner or a gunship or a Valkyrie missile. So it prevents spawn killing just a little bit, but my experience with that so far is that when I have a gunship or a chopper gunner, it's still pretty easy to get at least 5 or 6 kills normally. Another thing that they did was they adjusted the knife range, which is totally noticeable. I don't know if you guys agree. Leave a comment and let me know if you agree. But as far as I can tell, the knife lunge is, it feels like it's cut down by at least a third, maybe even half. But I have a feeling that appeased a lot of the people that were complaining about the knives in the first place. And I'll be honest, like the knives were starting to get on my nerves just a little bit towards the end. I mean, there's theater mode, like YouTube clips of people, literally teleporting like 5 feet with a knife. And that seems a little unmanageable. And a funny side effect of that was that playing in the last couple days, I've seen so many people fail knives on me because you can tell that they were just really used to being able to teleport a little bit more. They also made a hotfix so that the knives are tunable. So if they want to tweak it even more, they can patch it on the fly instead of having to do a full-on update for it. They did a couple other things too, but I'll talk about the snipers now. So what they did with the snipers, as far as I can tell, because they don't give out that kind of specific information when it comes to that. What it seems like what they did was, before, the mechanic was that when you scoped in for the first 0.25 seconds, if you shot, your bullet would shoot at max spread. So it was as if you were shooting from the hip while moving, and so your bullet was insanely randomized, and it just made for bad sniping. Because the thing about that is that I can understand where people are coming from, where they don't want the snipers to be too overpowered, but when they did that, they changed a fundamental part of Call of Duty, which everybody has been used to for years now, which is your bullet is going to shoot where your crosshair is going. And as soon as you mess with that, it throws people off way too much, and it was definitely throwing me off. So as far as what I can tell, what they did now is it looks like they've shortened up the time that your bullet shoots at max spread. So instead of 0.25 seconds, it might be something like 0.10 seconds or 0.112 seconds or something like that. There still is a randomization feature, but it doesn't seem to be as long as it was before. On top of that, it seems like the spread is much lower than it was before. So instead of max spread, maybe you have something like submachine gun with steady aim spread, the equivalent of that. And while you can be quick, you definitely can't quick scope in the same sense that you could in COD 4. So I think people probably shouldn't get too carried away when it comes to trying to be as aggressive as they were in Modern Warfare 2 in Black Ops. Now here's the thing about sniping in this game. I'm still getting used to it, and I'm still learning, because it just doesn't really it doesn't feel right just yet to me, because I took a long time off of sniping in general. I mean, there was about 6 months where I didn't play any Call of Duty whatsoever, and I was playing basically exclusively Halo. And so now in the last couple days, I mean, it's true that I was using the L96 a little bit in Black Ops before. I think I have like over 20,000 kills, and about 1,000 of them were from sniper rifles at the time of the patch. So I wasn't using them nearly as much as I was before. So I don't know what kind of tips I can give you guys in terms of actually how to use the gun itself, because it's still really tricky to me. It doesn't quite feel right, and I can't figure out if that's my problem, if I need to just get used to it and stop complaining, or if they need to tweak it just a little bit more. We'll see though. I mean, the game is still very early on in its life cycle, and I feel pretty confident at this point that the developers are taking good care of their game, and I trust that they'll do the right thing, whatever that may be. And I'm also open to the snipers being tweaked, to them being nerfed just a little bit. I don't really have a problem with that, to be honest with you. So as I'm playing Domination, you guys are going to notice that I'm playing probably a much more passive role than what you guys are used to seeing, especially from something like my Modern Warfare 2 gameplays. You just can't be as active with a sniper in this game as you could before. You just can't. There's nothing you can do. If you do that, you're just going to end up getting yourself killed over and over again. So I'm still really active. I'm still very much going after this B flag and prioritizing it. But at the same time, I'm definitely not playing nearly as active as I have before. And tell me if you guys are noticing the same thing. Is there somebody on YouTube that I don't know about that's posting full gameplays of them just going absolutely ballistic with a sniper? Because what are they doing that I'm not? So there's a good example of why the last pistol with extended mags is awesome. I don't know if I already mentioned it before, but there's a nice little collateral. Followed up by another one right there. So the last pistol, it's really tempting to put the fully auto attachment on this gun, but it's trash. It makes the gun shoot kill in 4 bullets, and if you use extended mags, you have 18 bullets, which kills in 3, and it's awesome. And that's that. So yeah, I've been trying to get you guys some more gameplay. I've been trying to
be more active on this channel now, especially that I have a particular interest in this game. For a while there, I just didn't really give a shit, you know. Modern Warfare 2 just wasn't doing it for me, and a lot of you guys didn't really like the fact that I was posting a lot of Halo content, but you know, I can assure you that I'm super into this game. Even with its flaws, I still really, really love this game, and I think that they took the game in a well-needed direction. As I fail with the sniper again. What are you guys' favorite setups using this sniper kit here? Do you like Scout? Do you like Sleight of Hand? Do you like Hardened Pro? I tried Hardened Pro tonight, and I can't tell if it made too much of a difference, because with the snipers you have to be super precise anyways, and if you're not, you're gonna die. And even if it reduces a flinch, them knocking your gun off your aim just a little bit with that tiny bit of flinch that you still get when it comes to Hardened Pro is enough to make me miss the shot. So I'm having a hard time finding a justification using that perk. Anyways, this was sort of a heartbreaker. We lost. I fought bravely, and in the end it just wasn't enough. But it was really exciting gameplay, so I wanted to show you guys that, you know, you can do well and have an exciting match and still lose at the same time and have fun. Hope you guys enjoyed. What's up, guys? My name is Hutch. I make Call of Duty videos and I put them on the internet. And I'm playing Headquarters on Grid, using the M16, using the perks Scavenger, Hardened, and Marathon. I don't have Hardened, or I didn't have Hardened Pro yet for this game. But Hardened Pro and M16 do really, really well, because in the 3-burst weapons, you wanna keep a steady beat on someone, and the reduced flinch allows that to happen. But I'm not gonna talk too much about the gameplay. I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory. There's a moment where I go up in the 2-story of this building right here, and I do a really good job of using that vantage point to my advantage. And I'd say that's probably the most notable thing that happened the whole game. And I managed a pretty good score too. But you know, I want to talk about this last year. It's been such a crazy year, guys. God, it's been so mind-bendingly, insanely insane that it's been the fastest year of my life, and it's been the slowest year of my life. And does that make sense to anyone? When I take a look back on this year, it feels like it went by super slow. But then when I think about this time last year, the memories are so vivid that it feels like it could have happened last month. So I don't know. That's where I am. And you know, God, this time last year was one of the worst times of my life. It was so bad. It was so bad, guys. My whole fucking life just crumbled. And then I got this job. You know, put yourself in my shoes for a minute and just imagine that it happened to you. Because my life, I don't think, is a fairy tale. I think, you know, a lot of people have moments of their lives that are just extremely pivotal and totally influential, and people will look back and think, you know, that was the most important time of my life. And I think right now, without a doubt, I'm in the most important part of my life. So, I mean, just imagine for a minute just packing up everything that you own and putting it in your car and driving about 7 hours to a new home, and you don't know anybody there, and you're starting in a job that you have no experience in, and you have no idea what to expect. You think you just assume it's going to be cool, but you really don't know, because there's no way of knowing what kind of what a job like mine was going to entail. I had no idea. And for the first 2 months of my job, I was almost in a state of shock. I was just sort of trying to just fake it, you know. And if you look back on some of those first episodes of Respawn, we had to do a lot of takes, because I would get so uncomfortable that whenever Sark would crack a joke, I would just end up completely cracking up. And it would take us like an hour or two to shoot an episode of Respawn, because I was so fucking nervous, you know. I didn't want to disappoint anyone. All of a sudden, it's like you have all this pressure on you that wasn't there before, and that kind of gets in the way, you know? It's like peeing in a urinal. I have a hard time peeing in urinals sometimes. Sometimes I'm like, no, I got this, and I'll pee in that urinal. But then if a dude's like sitting right next to me and there's no divider, and I'm just like looking down at my dick waiting to pee, it's like all of a sudden there's this expectation, like, come on, dude, you gonna pee? What, you can't pee in urinals? Like, that shit goes through my brain sometimes, and I just can't do it. I gotta go in the bathroom stall and like close the door and have my own little private pee area, and that's sort of what it felt like when I first started the job. It was unbelievable, and I mean, even going to something like E3, that was just out of this world, because now I'm surrounded by like, you know, thousands of people while we're shooting these episodes, and slowly but surely, you know, I would talk to Sark a lot about it, and Sark is a super funny guy on camera, and he's probably twice as funny in real life. But what's great about him is that he's a genuinely good person. A genuinely good person. He was the perfect person to step into this job with, because he had no problems sort of mentoring me through the whole thing. And you know, I would like get lunch breaks with him, and I remember this one lunch break in particular where I specifically asked him, like, yo, can we get lunch? Can we talk? And I told him, I'm like, man, you know, this is not what I expected. This is way more difficult than I thought it was going to be. And you know, do you have any like words of advice here? And we spent the entire lunch talking about that, for about an hour, about how to get used to a job like this. And I mean, it's not like the work itself is difficult. I'm not out there like building railroads or anything like that. But anyways, his kind of like little pep talks and words of encouragement throughout the year have made a tremendous impact on me. And you know, I can honestly say that now I'm super comfortable with my job. If you watch an episode of Respawn, I'm not nervous anymore. Like nothing really makes me uncomfortable. And you know, and I've got to be there for Adam, for Nannerman when he first started. You know, he experienced some of the same things where it was all of a sudden you're not sitting in your apartment doing commentaries by yourself. You're in the middle of this, you know, workplace, and surrounded by people who are all looking at you and expecting you to do well. And you know, I got to help him through that too, in my own little ways, when I'm not being too overbearing and whatnot. But this last year has just been so wonderful, and like so challenging and so fulfilling at the same time, because you know, it's like stepping up to those kind of challenges that really kind of tell you what kind of person you are, help you be the kind of person that you want to be. And you know, I owe a lot of it to you guys. I am super grateful to this day that I'm in the position that I'm in right now, and it really, there's no way it would have happened if you guys hadn't showed up and supported me. And you know, I just want to say thanks for that. Also, just so you know, there's a girl in here that I'm playing with. Her name is J for Jade, and she's SK's girlfriend. SK is another guy that I'm playing with. He's a Halo pro. He was in this game. Anyways, there's this contest going on for Gamette of the Year, and I'm going to put a link to it in the description. If you guys want to show up and show your support for Jade, because she's amazing at this game, she's actually really goddamn good, I'd appreciate that. So go check it out, and you guys are beautiful. Peace. What's going on, guys? My name is Hutch, and I make Call of Duty videos, and I put them on the internet. So today I have a game of domination on launch, and I'm using the AK-47, and I can't remember my perks because this game is old. I have no idea what happens in this game. I just saw it on my computer. I said, yep, that'll do. Because I haven't made a commentary in a little while. I haven't made a video well, I've made a video, but I haven't made like a full-on commentary in a little while. I've just been busy with other stuff in my life, and it's good to step away from shit every once in a while. It's good to walk away from video games. It's good to walk away from the internet. You know, I can't really like walk away from the internet on my work days because that's my job. But when I come home, I can walk away from the internet and choose to distance myself from it, because sometimes you really do need like a breather to kind of recharge your jets. Because if all I ever did was focus on this, I wouldn't have a fucking life, man. I would go to work and make videos and put them on the internet, and then I would come home and play Call of Duty, and then maybe afterwards or before make Call of Duty videos and put them on the internet, and maybe somewhere in there have dinner. I don't know. Like, I just wouldn't have time, and I don't want to do that, because my emotional life, my emotional well-being means more to me than that. Now, as much as I love you guys, I'm just not willing to sacrifice my own well-being so that a few, I want to stress that, a few like screaming belligerent trolls who think that it's my job to like serve them day and night will be happy. Now, I said few because I want to acknowledge right now that 99% of this channel are supporters, and you guys rock. And it's really, really easy to fall into a trap of only responding to negative comments, or to only letting comments, or to only let comments that are negative be the only thing that catches your attention. And it's not. Lately, I've been doing. I've been great, man. My life is great these days. I've been getting out like every single weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I've just been filling my time with stuff, with hanging out with friends and hanging out with love interests, if whatever. It's like just getting out and doing something other than playing Call of Duty and being on the internet. It's ironic because I'm delivering this message through a Call of Duty video that's put on the internet. But I assure you, tonight I had plenty of time. I was relaxing, played a little bit of COD with subscribers tonight. I've been doing that like a ton lately. I've been putting it out on Twitter and Facebook, like message Hutch's Yo Daddy if you want an invite to come play COD with me, because, well, there's a couple reasons for that. Number one, like I'm super grateful for the position that I'm in right now in my life, and totally wouldn't have. I mean, I definitely worked to get here, but totally wouldn't have been possible if you guys didn't show up to support me. And number two, you guys are fucking tryhards when you come and play with me, and I fucking love it. I'm going to be honest with you. I barely have to hop on flags when I play with you guys because you are all over that shit. And it's amazing. And it's a lot of fun. And I'm going to be doing that more often. And, without any real intention of making some sort of spectacle out of it, of making a video out of it, or whatever. And not because I feel like I owe it to you, but, the other reason, too, is because it's fun. And I like doing that. Hey, so I want to talk about something real quick before this video is halfway done. So I'm going to try and jam through it. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world right now, guys, and it's really exciting times that we're living in. I totally wish John Lennon was here to write a song about it, but he's not. Rest in peace. Speaking of awesome music, Radiohead's coming out with a new album on Saturday, and I'm giddy. I'm as giddy can be right now. But I digress. So there's a lot of stuff going on in the world right now. If you've been living under a rock, or you don't care, or you're just not paying attention. A little while ago, about a month ago, a man in Tunisia, which is a country on the northern tip of Africa, if you didn't already know that. I know a lot of you know that name from Call of Duty 2, but I assure you it's a real place. In a place called Tunisia, there was a fruit vendor who had his goods confiscated by the police because he didn't have the proper permit. And he was so frustrated at the unemployment situation in that country and what he perceived to be the president's inability or inaction with regards to doing anything about it, that he doused himself in gasoline and lit himself on fire in protest. It was the same action that Buddhist monks did in protest of the Vietnam War. Actually, a full-grown, I don't know why I said full-grown. Actually, a middle-aged man did it outside Robert McNamara's office in the height of the anti-war movement in the 70s. Well, actually, I don't know if that was either late 60s or 70s when that actually happened, but that was when the anti-war movement was going on during Vietnam. So it was the same action. And what ended up happening is that now it's sparked this like heavy anti-government, anti-establishment movement in that sector of the world. There's upheaval in Egypt and Iran and in Tunisia. You just saw what happened last week, what unfolded in Egypt, where the citizens of that country were able to band together and protest and oust a leader who they saw as, tyrannical, unjust, not worthy of being their leader. And as much as I'm not like a flaming like left-wing nut or anything like that, but I'm certainly not a conservative. So I'm gonna preface that right now. No matter what any right-wing pundit will tell you, or whatever any mainstream media source will tell you, anytime a people rises up against a leader who they perceive to be oppressive and they succeed in their goal of ousting him, that's a good thing, and we should support that. We shouldn't be looking at this through an American lens. And I know it's really easy to, because you want to think, well, how does this affect me? Well, let's just focus on them and let them have their moment right now, because I think that's awesome. So that happened in Egypt, and then now in Tunisia there was this hip-hop artist who wrote a song called Dear Mr. President, Your People Are Dying. They've had a president that's ruled that country with an iron fist since 1987, and now you're seeing the same kind of struggle there to Tunisia and Iran. And Iran's particularly scary because Ahmadinejad doesn't fuck around. That fucking guy will kill you. And so the balls that these people have to stand up against that leader is particularly noteworthy. So the moral of the story is that, like, I can't let video games frustrate me like I have before. I can't let YouTube frustrate me like I have before. I just can't. Like, when I see that going on in the world, it's impossible to let that get to me. It's impossible. Like, I feel like I have like a moral duty to myself not to let this shit get under my skin like it has in the past. And my life's good. I really don't have any complaints. I would invite you guys to do the same, to really lighten up and not take all this too seriously. I know a lot of people's financial livelihood depends on it, so in that regard, yeah, take it seriously. But, God, man, there's just so many more important things in life that we should all be focusing on, or at least loosely paying attention to. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the commentary. I'm going to bed. Oh shit! I gotta turn down the fucking volume on this thing. How's it going, Trumpy?
It's going well.
You know, the last time we did a video was probably a little over a year ago, right when Modern Warfare 2 just came out.
Yeah, it's been a while. I think the last one was what everyone always talks about was the $50,000. Would you go down on the guy for it?
Were you asking me? No, you're not asking me. We already did a video about that.
Yeah, we did that. That's what everyone talked about.
I have a more important question for you, Trump, and it's one that we've already talked about. Well, first of all, this is my gameplay, and I'm playing on jungle, and I'm using the Galil with dual mags, and I'm playing against a bona fide pack of retards. Like the people in this game are not good, but the score was the best score that I posted on Black Ops, so I figured, hey, what the hell, why not post it? So anyways, the question I want to ask you right now, Trump, is if you were to lose your dick in some sort of an accident, would you, at the very least, consider killing yourself?
Oh, man. You know, I think about it, and I say, the most important thing to me is I have to pee, you know? I still have to pee. And
right. We've already talked about this, Trump. You'd have a catheter.
Exactly. I would have a catheter. So basically, everything else is just, oh god, that's just terrible, dude.
I mean, that honestly, like that would be the thing that made you be pissed off about losing your dick, is having to pee through a catheter. I mean, you wouldn't be able to have sex, Trump. You wouldn't be able to masturbate. You wouldn't be able to experience sexual pleasure in your pants.
Yeah, exactly. That's just just keep putting it on there. So yeah, I would really just not want to be alive anymore.
But you're saying that the worst part of it is that you'd have to pee through a catheter, not the fact that you wouldn't be able to pleasure yourself or receive pleasure from a young female. I just think that's a weird place to go. Like that would be the place that you went in your brain is, oh, I'd have to pee through a catheter, and not, you know, oh, I'd never get to stick my pee in a V ever again.
But see, sticking the P in the V, you know, sometimes you can go a good while without getting that, and that's okay. But
what was the longest you've gone without putting P in V before?
Probably like 6 months.
6 months, I think. Since I started having S, it's probably the longest stretch was about 9 months.
Yeah.
So
see, but
I could do 9 months with my hands tied behind my back. That's not a problem. But the rest of my life, no.
Yeah, exactly.
I would seriously consider. I would consider killing myself, but then again, I would also consider like living the aesthetic life, like becoming like a Buddhist monk or something like that. Because if you don't have your dick as a distraction, it's like, why the fuck not try and live, you know, an aesthetic life to the fullest, you know?
You know, now that you're saying that, I think about it a little more, and you can get a lot of shit done without a D.
Like what? I mean, or what are you talking about? Just like handyman, like fixing your TV, or what?
No, like you could go to school, learn all kinds of stuff. You don't have to worry about anything. You could become like the next big inventor or something.
You know what? Come to think of it, I think my dick is really holding me back from my true potential. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I think it's holding me back too.
Think about this, Trump. Think about this. If you, instead of all the time collectively that you've spent in your life masturbating, if you would have learned a new word, you know, like or read a book on like Guns, Germs, and Steel, you know, or like studied up on World War II history, you could have written like I seriously could have written probably about 50 dissertations in the time of my life that I've spent masturbating.
Yeah, you know what? See, this is a real big thing.
I think I'm gonna chop my dick off.
The BME Pain Olympics featuring Trump and Hutch.
What'd you call it?
The BME Pain Olympics.
I don't even know what that means.
You've never seen that video.
No.
You've never seen it.
The BME Olympics?
Pain Olympics.
Oh, Pain Olympics. No, I've
Yeah.
never even heard of that.
All right, now all the people in the chat right now are gonna go, "Oh my God, he's never seen it." After they've already commented, "I'd lose my dick." Okay, but it is a video where these guys obviously hyped up on some drugs. They take butcher knives and cut off their stuff and cut out their testicles and...
Wait, what? This is an actual video?
It's an actual video.
Where? Like Vimeo or something? Where are you finding this video?
I don't think I can actually say where I find it, but you've never really seen it.
No, I've never even heard of it.
Oh my gosh. You need to. You need to watch it.
Okay, here's another question though. Is there a price that you would be like, would you accept a certain amount of money to chop your dick off? I'm saying, what if someone offered you $50 billion to chop your dick off?
I have to do it myself?
Well, no, I mean you wouldn't even have to chop it off. It was just like you could even make it painless. So like a magical genie says, tomorrow you're gonna wake up with no dick, but here's $50 billion. Would you take it?
I would do it for probably $1 billion.
I would never, ever, ever chop my dick off for any sum of money. I don't care what it is.
I mean, yeah, you don't have the ladies anymore.
That's a deal breaker.
Yeah, but also, you get to reach your true potential.
What does that have to do with $50 billion?
I don't know.
Money can't help you get your true potential, Trump.
You know what? Neither can your penis.
Well, I mean, it can make you a lot happier than $50 billion. I swear to God, I firmly believe that my dick would make me happier than $50 billion would. Anyways, good talk.
Great talk.
It's always good having you on. And I'm going to end it right there.
Alrighty. See you later.
What is cracking, homies? My name is Hutch, and I make Call of Duty Black Ops videos and put them on the internet. And today is the final round of a demolition game that I played on Cracked. And I am using an overpowered weapon. I'm using the 74U with the rapid fire attachment because I fucking love this gun, and I will continue to use it until they nerf it. If they nerf it, we'll see how much they do so, and if it's too much nerfed, then I'm not gonna use it anymore. But I fucking love guns that do better than other guns. In COD 4, I had no qualms using the MP5 and the M16. I didn't use the MP40 a whole lot in World at War, but because that gun was just like, man, that gun was whew. But the 74U is just a tad bit OP, just a slight bit OP, but I don't think it's like monstrously overpowered like other guns in the series. I don't think it's as bad as the UMP. I don't think it's as bad as the M16. I don't think it's bad as any of those. But I really don't care. I'm going to use it. So there's that. I'm going to try and get you. Are you laughing at Sark over there? Or are you laughing at me? Yeah, seriously. I mean, like, what do you use the 74?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. I mean, I don't give a shit, man. Whatever. If one fucking gun gives me a kill more than another, I'm not going to use the fucking Scorpion. Because people want to see commentators or guys that put gameplay videos on the internet. It's like, hey, let's use the shittiest guns possible. Fuck that. I'm not using the goddamn Scorpion, goddamn it.
In any case, this is a pretty clutch round of demolition here. They get the B bomb off, which is what they should have done, because that's really hard to get off if it's the last bomb left. And we're stuck defending the A bomb, and I just go into fucking beast mode, and I have a pretty good overtime round. I don't want to show you guys the whole game. It's like an 18-minute game, so I figured you guys wouldn't want to see that. Anyways, in case you guys didn't know, where's the sentence going? Why can't I talk? Just being around you makes me not talk well, Wood. You're making me nervous. Say something. Pipe up.
Hello there.
Speak the fuck up. Someone's at the door. Hey, JC. Why don't you say hi to YouTube?
Hi, YouTube. How are you?
Because I'm recording something right now.
I'm so sorry.
JC, if you guys don't remember, is the one that I told I had an 11-inch penis, and I showed her my belly button, and that was that. So, yeah. What do you mean? I don't know what you mean.
I'm just looking for a hard drive.
Oh, okay.
Silver, power, anybody?
I don't see one, no.
Thank you.
So I went to my bosses a few weeks ago and I asked them if I could put all my regular shows on hold and work on a comprehensive history of Call of Duty on the consoles for online multiplayer. Now the reason why I chose not to talk about PC isn't because I shit all over you guys or I don't like you. It's because I don't have any experience with the PC and I'm not gonna make a video that about something that I don't know anything about. So I stuck with consoles and I spent a lot of time on it, and truth be told, I am more proud of these videos that I've done than probably anything that I've done on Respawn so far. It was like the first time that I really took charge and really had fun creatively. It was actual work. Yeah, I've been working on that a lot, I did 3. The first one was on Call of Duty 2 and 3. The second one was on Call of Duty 4 and World at War. Third one was on Modern Warfare 2, and the last one that I'm working on is for Black Ops, and I'm capturing all the footage myself, and it's going to be some really entertaining footage for the last one, which is going to air on either Friday or Saturday. But in case you guys missed the other ones, I hadn't talked about it on this channel yet. I'm going to include a playlist, a link to a playlist in the description. Pipe down, Chief. You can't even hear me. Adam. No, now you can hear me. I'm just playing. Anyways, I'm going to include a link to a playlist, so anybody who missed it or is curious about watching it, you can just click on the playlist and it'll automatically play them in order. And I think it's really good, and I tried to keep it as neutral as possible. When I talked about Modern Warfare 2, I could have talked for 15-20 minutes, but I don't think people want to see a 15-20 minute video, so I kept it to 6 minutes, and I left a lot of things out, like hacked lobbies and things, and what was the other one that people were talking about? Commando. I didn't even mention Commando. But yeah, so anyways, the next one's going to be out this weekend. Link in the bottom for a playlist for that show. And then also, we've been racing to the 15th Prestige. I'm sure 99.9% of you know that us at Machinima have been playing the game nonstop, 24 hours a day for the last 3 weeks now. And we're almost at the 15th Prestige. We're at Prestige 14, rank 32 at this point. And we are probably going to Prestige within the next, I'd say, 10 to 15 hours. So head on over to the live stream and say what's up. My shift starts in an hour and a half. I'm recording this at 4:30. So at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time is when I'm going to be playing for 4 hours. And I want all you guys to come and join me and hop on the chat and ask me questions and just watch me go beast mode in this game. I fucking love this game, and I'm doing really well with it, and yeah, I'm fucking stoked. And I think that's the only thing that I wanted to talk about. Yep, that's the only thing I wanted to talk about. I'm actually not going to finish up this entire commentary because, believe it or not, I am actually hard at work today. We're busy bees. It's the holiday season, and everybody, including myself, the Nannerman, Sark, Wood, we all got like 10,000 plates spinning at the same time right now. And of course, it's an awesome job. I'm not saying that it's not an awesome job, but every once in a while, we actually do get our hands full with work. And by every once in a while, I mean all the time. And during the holiday season for video games, if you guys didn't already know, it's the busiest time of year for video games, and that makes our job that makes our job all that more hard. But To be honest, I like it. I like being really productive. I like having a lot of things on my plate. And I've been really enjoying this holiday season. That said, I am ready for my little break that comes at the end of the year. Machinima takes 2 weeks off at the end of most years. Last couple years in a row we've done it. And so I get 2.5 weeks off. I get to go up north again and kick it with my homies and my family and all that fun stuff. So anyways, enjoy the rest of the video. There's only a little bit left. But I thought this is a pretty entertaining game of Demolition. Let me know what you guys think. I'll talk to you later. Peace.
SR-71 ready to launch. SR-71 online.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Headshot, where we will be talking about Call of Duty Black Ops Zombies, in particular Ascension. I'm Fwiz, and alongside of me is Hutch.
What's up, guys?
And Hutch, I think we got a pretty good topic to talk about, and that is the PhD Flopper.
The PhD Flopper is one of the new perks introduced to Ascension, the other one being Stamina, which is Marathon.
Yeah.
Not Marathon Pro, but Marathon.
Yeah, because you do stop at a certain point from running. But the PhD Flopper has kind of introduced an interesting strategy to the map, and something you're pretty fond about.
Yeah, at the very least until round 25, the best strategery to impart. Is impart the proper context for that?
I think so, or at least execute.
Yeah, or execute. Well, we'll do that one.
Okay, fair enough.
Is to head up to the PhD Flopper lander. It's a series of stairs that goes up. You have the lander. To your right, you have a little enclosed off area where one person watches a window. To the left, you have another set of stairs that heads upstairs where there's another window. You have two guys with PhD Flopper that just switch off flopping all the way until round 25.
Yeah, you got to make sure that you've got a nice systematic approach to it of flopping off to the right and running back up to the right side of the steps. Pretty much how you should work on an escalator or walking up steps on a day-to-day basis.
Otherwise, you might jump onto each other and your flop may not activate, to which you would be...
cock-blocked by a zombie.
You would be cock-blocked.
Yeah, and that's the worst. Actually, that happens to me a lot. In a conversation we have, although it's a great strategy, I'm pretty ADD. So we found out from you and I playing that I don't execute the flopper too well.
Right, yeah. You know what else works for you a lot is just not flopping.
Not flopping at all.
In general.
Yeah, right.
It's getting the ray gun and shooting that instead of flopping.
Ray
You're
gun,
fucking
thunder
great
gun.
at that.
Yeah, no, ray gun and thunder gun, but I guess everybody can't be. Yeah, so the flopper is certainly the tactic to use. I definitely would agree with that. It's just as well as making sure you get patient players executing it, because you can't stop on it, or else the zombies will flood the gates.
You know what? It's also important to note that up until about round, I want to say 18 or 19, it is fucking easy mode.
Yeah,
Once you get past 20, you really have to just like run up, flop, run up, flop. Do not stop. You just keep going and going and going. And then at about round 26, 27 is really when you're starting to push it. At which point you start to run a certain route and utilize the traps.
I love the idea, man. I'm gonna start trying to do a little bit better with being patient with the flopper.
I hope you do, man.
I know, for all of our sake, huh?
Well, for my sake.
Team effort, man.
No,
just you.
So you want to close this out? I think we're done.
Yeah, I think so, man.
Go get some fucking lunch.
Sounds good. Guys, check out the next episode of Headshot.
Hey, you know what we forgot to talk about?
I know exactly what. The Facebook page.
Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody does it.
Facebook.com/machinima.
Better like it, too. Thumbs up that baby.
Yeah. Otherwise, what's the point? You're just going to visit the page? No,
Yeah.
you like it.
Like that stuff.